How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's another fine day here in eastern Iowa. Take a little bit of time looking at the Mahindra branded Pallet Forks. Stick around and we'll check it out right after this. I will say the skid steer quick attach is super nice. I switch it in between my Pallet Forks and my bucket over there pretty often. You hook right up to it here and you come up here and you just push down on the handles and she locks right into place. On each side you'll see the pins down there. They hook right down into it and then she's locked in, ready to go. So here they are. It's the Mahindra branded, the PFC 2000. These are the 42-inch Pallet Forks that Mahindra sells. Again, I'm sure it's another rebranded product that they sell. It's made in Korea. You'll see here the tag on it. The specific for this one here. They are the 42-inch forks, so it's 42 inches of length is what you get here. And then they have slots here for the adjustment like normal on most Pallet Forks. And you've got your adjustment there. On the back, there's some holes that you can bolt stuff on through. Like I said, this is the skid steer quick attach on the back of this, which works great. There it is, the PFC 2000. As I mentioned before, it's the 42-inch forks, which are rated for 2,000 pounds of lifting capacity, which is more than this little guy will do anyways. So you should be safe on anything you want to lift within reason on this tractor. So as far as adjustment is concerned, I know a lot of people will tell you that they put a bunch of grease on them, they do this, that. Any of those ways is going to work. But what I find most user-friendly is to tilt the forks at a 45-degree angle, 30-degree angle, somewhere in that area. And tilt them at an angle makes them easier to move. You just unlock them and they slide right out that way. There's no struggle in doing it. And it makes it a lot easier. Stay on both sides. It goes from all the way from 42 inches in between the forks to as little as 5 inches in between. So all the way out here, you're looking at 42 inches all the way out between the inside of the fork, 42 inches, or all the way in here to the middle. You're looking at 5 inches. So unlock it, slide it across. Probably would have put a little bit of grease on there, but it slides pretty good. So 5 inches in between here. I usually run in the middle. I'm moving pallets usually. Right out there, your place. On this side. Well, that's about as much as the little Max will handle. It's a pretty good size tree trunk here. It's about, I think it was like 36 inches or something across the end here. If you do the math, it weighs right about, I think they said 1,800 pounds. So just wanted to show you, that the Pallet Forks have plenty of strength to them. The max will get it about, we'll call it 3 foot off the ground. But pretty impressive, really. These things are heavy, and keep in mind when they talk lift capacities on these things, they're talking here at the pivot pins. So we're a good 36 inches out here in front of the pivot pins. So it's actually picking up quite a bit of weight. Plus, a couple 100 pounds here for the Pallet Forks. Impressed. I didn't think actually would get off the ground. I mean, I've done this before, but this goes to show you, there's no flex in these forks, and they seem to be made with pretty high quality stuff. So many of you are probably wondering, are Pallet Forks right for me? Will I use them enough? Are they worth the investment? Or maybe, should I go a different route? Well, I'll give you my 2 cents. Would I go back and buy them again if I had to? Or would I buy another set? Of course I would. They are great. They've been nothing but stellar. Makes a lot of things easier around the house. I said, well, we only have 1.5 acres, so how much could you really do with Pallet Forks? Well, there's a lot you don't think about that they're handy for, whether it's loading logs into the back of a friend's pickup truck, carrying larger rocks around the yard makes it a lot easier with Pallet Forks than it does with a bucket. Unloading a trailer, I've unloaded many pallets, bricks, rubber mulch, 16-foot long 4x6s, and stuff like that. They've been extremely handy. Now the question is, do you use the skid steer quick attach? Do you just buy the regular ones if you don't have the quick attach? Do you buy the fork extenders? Do you buy the clamp-on forks? In my opinion, I've used clamp-on forks before. I've used, the slide-on extending things that go on the buckets and such. I would recommend spend a little extra money and buy the ones that go on, especially if you have the quick attach feature. The quick attach, the skid steer quick attach makes it so simple. It's almost a no-brainer in my opinion. And like I said, and if you're really wondering, are you going to use enough to justify the expense? That's what I said. I was telling people I was getting Pallet Forks. So what are you going to use them for? Well, like I said, justifying it up front doesn't seem like how often you will use them, but you'll quickly find out they're a tool you'll quick go to get things done around the house. So I would recommend doing it. They're a highly versatile piece of equipment that is probably my favorite addition for the tractor. The tiller is handy, the box blade is handy, but you don't realize how nice it is to have Pallet Forks when you don't have them. Just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of these Pallet Forks if you're considering buying them. Here again, I'm not quite sure who makes them. The Mahindra branded. So far they've been great. It has a really good quality powder coat on them. I have no complaints on them. Here again, they're Pallet Forks. Really not a whole lot of secret sauce to them other than a lift up product or do this and that. I've used chains and wrapped around the mast or picking up logs. So far I've done a lot of moving pallets with them and stuff like that. When I was looking at buying implements for this to get part of the power package deal, I'm like, hey, asking some of my farmer friends, what would you do? He's like, oh, get some Pallet Forks, you'll use them all the time. I'm like, what? Why would I use Pallet Forks all the time? Well, I've used them a ton. It's saved myself a bunch of back-breaking work between moving landscape timbers around, pallets of mulch, pallets of block. I moved 2,000 pounds of rubber from around their play set, moved tree logs. There's a lot of purposes for them. So I think as far as the multi-purpose, thing you'd want to get, I would highly consider getting a pair of Pallet Forks with your implement package, or getting that at the beginning. or sometime in the very near future, because they are very handy to have around. And I've been using them a lot here on our 1.5 acre, moving stuff around. So appreciate you guys watching today. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. I appreciate it. Stay tuned to the next video. We'll see ya.